Fancy Hanks was busy during the Melbourne Food Festival. Alongside their usual customers, they hosted bookings for Chef Daniel Brooks from Leach's Cantina in Austin, Texas. It was Chef Daniel's first time in Melbourne, and he already had something to say about the weather.
It's just like Texas, every day has been different, One day it was cold, one day it was hot, yesterday it was raining, but I'm glad the weather cooperated today for this rooftop patio,
Chef Daniel met the Fancy Hanks crew in Austin, and they hit it off right away.
These boys that own Fancy Hanks, they came to South by in Austin, Texas last year. And as soon as we met, it was instant connection, It's like even because of what we do for a living, that they're restaurant people, I'm a restaurateur, we're in the service industry, we're in the hospitality industry. It was a very organic connection, right? The crowd came, I think we ended up serving close to 200 people. It was a great experience working with the crew here. I'm really happy with all the flavors that we put out, Mexican flavors, and the culture of Mexico being represented here in Melbourne. I think we did a good job, yeah.
In a collaboration with the owners, he decided to bring the many flavours of Tex-Mex cuisine to Melbourne, using food to spread a message about Tex-Mex and Mexican culture to the relatively uninitiated Melbourne public.
There is a difference between Tex-Mex and Mexican cuisine, right? But the way to really give Tex-Mex or Mexican food a good impression is by inviting people that live it, cook it, eat it on a daily basis, and then give them the opportunity to come over here and be able to represent those flavors in the most authentic way possible. Yeah, and then also the music, like right now we're blaring that Mexican cumbias and the chicha music, that also adds to the flavor and to the experience of eating these flavors,
The centerpiece of the afternoon was a cochinita pibil, a whole pig that had been smoked for 24 hours, then roasted on the surface before being pulled apart.
So that's a cochinita pibil, so that's a very traditional dish in the Yucatan Peninsula. We brined it for a couple days with orange juice and some cilantro, or here y'all say coriander, and vinegar. And then we smoked it overnight, and then we crisped it up in the rooftop over live charcoal. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way it came out.
Things have changed in the world of culinary arts in recent years. With the rise of the foodie, some restaurateurs have found themselves having to adapt to the open nature of instant public reviews on the internet. But Chef Daniel seems to have fared well enough.
Before, back in the days, I'm very old school, right? Like the Italian restaurants that we had, we became popular just through word of mouth. Times they are changing. For any business, whether you're a restaurant or a clothing store, you want the world to know about what you're doing, and definitely bloggers, and even like with the Yelp reviews, I could say it's like giving anybody a gun, because they could just write anything about you, and even if they have the palate to write or whatever, but still, it's a way to have people express their opinions. But now bloggers, you could tell that, they're a little bit more passionate about it, and, they really go out there and they try to educate themselves about it and experience the food, and that way they could give an educated opinion. And so definitely, it's a great thing to help create awareness of any type of flavor, cuisine, culture, or brand that you're trying to put out there. So we welcome them.
Upon arriving, he found himself impressed by the preparedness of the Fancy Hanks crew, and he had this to say about the possibility of a rise in Tex-Mex and Mexican food in Melbourne.
The barbecue that these boys are doing here in Melbourne is legit. I mean, it's something that I tell them they should be very proud of, the staff. You already have what it takes to make this delicious food. I guess it's now just bringing the people or having the people that dig themselves more into it and practice doing it more. But there's no reason why Melbourne can't have a great Mexican or Tex-Mex food scene,
For Chef Daniel, sharing his culture and seeing the content faces of his customers is the ultimate reason for his passion of food and cooking.
Look, bottom line, this is what I was put on earth to do. God didn't give me a singing voice, I can't act, right? But I could definitely evoke emotion through making good food, right? And so that's the reason why I do it, because I put out a good plate of food, and no matter if it's Italian food, Mexican food, Asian food, whatever the case may be, when I see the reaction that I create in people's lives, or that I create a positive memory, You know, that's why I'm doing it, right? Because it's an opportunity to feed people's souls and bellies, and in return, I feed my soul, you know?
Chef Daniel Brooks will be here until the 30th of March, returning to Austin, Texas, where he'll be working in 2 more festivals. Beyond that, it's left to whatever opportunities present themselves.
The best plan is no plan, so let's see what happens. But I can promise you that whatever happens, I'll do it with love and passion.
This is Sean Carroll, Charlie's Update.